Hey, this is Scott, and today I'm going to compare the Sennheiser MKE600 and MKE440 shotgun microphones. While they are both shotgun microphones, they are quite different physically and just in overall design, so first let's go over that. The MKE440 has a built-in cold shoe foot ideal for using on top of your camera. The 3.5mm cable, which is also built into the microphone, is another sign that this is the ideal use. To set it apart from other on-camera microphones, there are actually two internally shock-mounted microphones in the MKE440, giving it a true stereo sound. This mic can only be powered by AAA batteries, but it has a fairly long battery life. There is a high-pass filter switch on here, as well as a -10 and +20 decibel switch to help overcome inferior DSLR preamps. The MKE600 is a more typical single-barrel style shotgun microphone and is ideal for using in a variety of situations. Its shape lets it work with a range of different shock mounts, and the professional XLR connection is better for running long cables, such as when using it on a boom pole. It can be powered through the XLR connection with phantom power or also by a AA battery. There is a high-pass filter switch on the body, as well as a switch for using the internal battery power. Both of these mics are built extremely well and do have very nice sound quality, but they will probably be used in different situations just due to the different ways that they're mounted and the XLR and 3.5mm cable difference. But however, today I will compare their sound just to show you what they sound like in some different situations. First off, this is the MKE600 on a boom pole just out of frame right in front of me, and I have it plugged into the Zoom H4n. I do not have the high pass filter turned on because I don't necessarily have a need for it in this situation. There is a little bit of noise right outside the window outside of me. It's raining pretty hard. I'm not sure if you can hear that, but after this we will compare it to the MKE440. This is now the MKE440 in pretty much the same location and setup as the MKE600 was. However, to plug this into the H4n using the shorter 3.5mm cable, I do have to kind of rig it up a little bit more awkwardly. It's definitely not ideal, but it is doable. I also do not have the +20 decibel setting turned on the microphone right now, just because I've compared it using the H4n. I've tried using the H4n's preamp and also using the built-in preamp on the microphone, and I didn't hear much of a difference, so I'm just keeping it at 0 now to kind of level things out with the MKE600, which doesn't have that feature. So this is now the MKE600 plugged straight into the Canon 5D Mark IV using an XLR to 3.5mm adapter cable. I know in this case the +20 decibel setting on the MK400 will definitely be useful because I did have to turn the in-camera preamp up higher than I have in the past with the MKE440, so whether or not that's going to make a audible difference, we'll see when we check it later. Let me know what you think. Can you hear any difference between this and what I'm going to do now, which is the MKE440 with the +20 decibel setting? So this is now the MKE440 plugged straight into the Canon 5D Mark IV. I'm using the +20 decibel setting so I can turn the in-camera audio down quite a bit more than I could with the MKE600. I'm not sure if you can hear a difference or not, but this is what it sounds like. Now let's go check how these sound outside with a bit more noise around me and just a couple different settings using the high pass filter and things like that. So I'm outside right now with the MKE600 and there's definitely a lot of noise around me. There's literally a highway not far behind this camera and there's a lot of cement walls and stuff surrounding me, so I'm sure that the noise is bouncing around quite a lot. So I'm curious to see how well this does compared to the MKE440, since the 440 will pick up a lot more of that surrounding noise because it is that stereo microphone where it's designed to pick up more of your environment along with your voice. So there's definitely big trucks and loud cars driving not far behind the camera, so we'll see how it sounds. So now I've turned on the high pass filter because both of these microphones do have that feature, so we'll see how they sound using that feature as well. I do also, of course, have the windscreen on here. There's not a whole lot of wind today, so I don't think you'll hear a whole lot of difference between the two mics in terms of wind noise, but I do have it on here. And this is what it sounds like. So possibly it might cut out some of that noise from the cars behind the camera. We'll see how it sounds when I get it into the computer. So this is now the MKE440. The high pass filter is not yet turned on. The dead cat is on there, but otherwise there's nothing, no special settings. I do not have the +20 turned on because the MKE600 doesn't have that feature, and I want to try and keep this as fair as possible. So we'll only compare the features that they both have. But as of now, again, this is the MKE440 with that noise of the highway right behind the camera. I'm sure that it'll pick up a lot more of that environment that I'm in, and this is how it sounds. Now finally, this is the MKE440 with the high-pass filter turned on. I don't know how much of a difference it'll make. There's a lot of noise behind the camera, and I'm sure that you'll be able to hear it quite a lot in the recording. But we'll see how it sounds again, if there's any difference with and without the high-pass filter in terms of reducing this noise. And again, there's not a whole lot of wind today. There is a little bit blowing, but I don't think it'll make a significant difference. But I'm curious to see how that will sound too. Of course, the windscreen on the MKE600 is a larger windscreen that has both foam and the fur on there, whereas the MKE440's windscreen is just the kind of slip-on type. So if there is wind, like there actually is coming right now, I'm sure it'll be a little bit more audible with the MKE440, but I've made a video showing the effectiveness of the MKE440's windscreen before, so if you want to see that, click on screen or down in the link below. So hopefully that gives you some idea of the difference between these two, both in terms of their physical build and their sound quality. Let me know down below what your experiences are with both of these microphones, and of course if you have any questions or comments, leave that down there as well. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give me a thumbs up, subscribe to see more in the future, and as always, thank you for watching.